The meat chickens are growing up fast. They go through that feeder in 1 day now. They get mealworms at the end of the night, so that's why they're excited and bum rush the door. I put apple cider vinegar in their water as a dewormer. You have to get the organic kind because it has the mother in it. Speaking of chickens, listen to this awesome song I just heard.
When you get to the hatching highway, you will get onto the truck to get more eggs for the chickens. They will hear some hatching birds. Then you'll end up in the hatching highway. There will be a hatching bridge made out of chicken eggs. A chicken giant egg.
Surprise, surprise, we're still in the hundreds, so we thought we'd give all the does and the babies a bath. They still like to stand because usually they get alfalfa on it. I had my clippers repaired by Premier One. They are awesome if you need livestock equipment. I also got the stand from them. This time I washed the sheep first to remove a lot of lanolin and dirt because clean wool is easier to shear than dirty wool. It worked so much better and I sheared them wet. Kept the clippers from heating up. And I just thought I'd point out little baby Bowie's horns. If you'll remember, the other side of the garden has a 50 by 20 foot solar shade. We needed to put one on this side, but there's a tree growing there, so we had to get two 10 by 20s because they don't sell a 10 by 50. My phone actually turned off because it got too hot while recording, so this is the shade up again. And it just clears that tree with the slack in it, so we left the slack. The goats are not supposed to be in the orchard, so Derek took them all the way back up to the barn, and they followed him back twice. Cutest thing ever. We decided to let them graze on the grass in the orchard, but we were watering trees, so they kept coming up to us and eating the trees. I've never shown a lot going on inside the barn as far as our shops. We just got spray foam insulation and it's dropping the temperature significantly. It sounds different, we're excited, and the barn will be taking up a lot of our time, so I'll record more. And here's the next step. Doesn't that look like fun? It wasn't. If you're looking for kicks, don't put up drywall. Somebody said there were some cows loose, so we're off to go check the fence lines. It's the funnest thing ever. That statement was made before we hung the sheetrock. Well, I know this isn't a rabbit because they would be going after my sweet potato vines, but something's eating all my watermelons, so I usually pick them and give them to the pigs. This heat wave all across the country has caused problems for gardens. People are just kind of giving up on them, but these watermelons are not putting on any more size, so I did pull them. Many times if I see the fruit do this, turn yellow and kind of wither, I know that the plant's about done. Even though they look good, that's a pumpkin, so I kept the pumpkin vines. Even though most of them look good, they just start dropping their fruit. I also have squash bugs pretty bad. Right here you can tell the damage that the squash bugs have done. End of July is usually when our garden is done. They just give up. Late start on our garden this year, and then it was just too dadgum hot. So I ended up pulling all of these and maybe some pumpkins. The cucumbers are just done. They're crispy, they've got bugs on them, and they start to wither on the ends of them. That's when I pull them. The following infomercial is brought to you by Special Place Ranch. Read your seed packets to know how far in advance to start the seeds indoors before transplanting outdoors. Use a seed starting mix to ensure that roots can move easily through the soil. It's a good idea to pre-moisten your soil. Add enough water till you can form a clump in your hand, but no water is squeezed out. Over a bucket, your seed cells are easily filled. Tamp each cell lightly. Cover the void with more mix. Be sure to label your plants with the correct name and the date you started. It's important to know how many days till germination. Using a pin or your finger or some other pokey thing. Create a hole at the appropriate depth for the seeds according to the seed packet. Drop in 2 seeds to each cell so that if one does not germinate, you have a backup. You can thin later. Cover the seeds and tamp very lightly. Spray with a spray thingy if you have one. Add vermiculite to the top of the soil to prohibit mold growth. After germination, remove the humidity downs and run your hand over the seedlings to simulate the wind and encourage strong stem growth. Is that it?
Yep.